First, you want to start off by drawing your shape onto your foam or your sponge, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. And I decided to just draw mine out by hand, but you can use a template if you want to. So for example, you can just find a template on Google and print it out, or you can draw out your own template and then just cut it out and trace it onto the foam. And it is a pretty simple shape to draw, so I just drew mine out by hand, but if you do struggle with this bit, you can use a template. And I just used a regular marker pen for this, or a regular felt tip pen, whatever they're called. So I drew out the body, the head, the legs and the tail. And also, if you struggle with drawing the circle for the body, you can trace around something circular if you want to, like a lid or something. So that's what the shape should look like. And now moving on to the next step. So here is what the shape looks like so far. And you just want to keep trimming it until it looks kind of the same on both sides. So just keep trimming around it until it looks similar on both sides. And then what you want to do is you want to start rounding off the legs, and as you can see, I've already done that for the front legs. So what you want to do is you just want to take your scissors and you want to make the legs a little bit lower than the body, like so. And make sure that they're about the same level as well. And then you just want to make curved cuts on them like this. And also make them a little bit smaller as well if you have to. And then just continue just to round it off until you're happy with it. And you also want to do the same thing for the other leg as well. And then you also want to do the same thing for the tail. So again, you just want to keep cutting it like this until it is a little bit lower than the body. Just like that. And again, you just want to smooth that off and turn it into basically a little triangle shape. So I'm just going to finish this and then we'll move on to the next step. So once you've finished shaping the legs and the tail, next what you want to do is you want to start rounding off the head. So what you want to do is, again, you just want to take your scissors and you want to cut off the line just here. So that way the head and the body are separate. And then what you want to do is you just want to make curved cuts around it like this and just turn it into basically like a sphere or a circle shape. So just make very small cuts like so. and just try to round it off as best as you can. So just keep doing this for the whole head. And then you also want to round off the bottom as well. So again, you just want to make curved cuts like this. And it should look like that. And then just continue just to make small snips with your scissors just to make it as smooth as possible. So I'm just going to finish that. So once you've finished rounding off the head, next what you want to do is you want to start rounding off the shell or the body. So again, you just want to make curved cuts with your scissors like so, just all the way around it. And also make sure to round it off down here as well. And it should turn into either a circle or an oval shape. And then you just want to make small snips on the top like so. And just basically turn it into a dome shape or a bun shape. So just keep doing this until you're happy with how it looks. So mine is almost finished. And also, by the way, for the back of the squishy, you do not have to do anything to it. You can round it off if you want to, but I decided to just make mine, or just leave mine flat. So now I'm just going to finish this and I will be right back. So next what you want to do is you want to take your pen and you want to draw on the lines on the shell. Basically just like this. And this is what's going to create the melon bun texture. And you can use a ruler for help, but I just ended up just drawing mine on by hand. And then you also want to draw a line going all the way around the shell like this. And it should stop here by the head. And next what you want to do is you just want to cut off the pen lines with your scissors like so. So that way you're creating the texture of the melon bun. And you also want to cut off the pen line going around the shell as well, just to create a slight indent. So I'm just going to finish that. So here is what it looks like once I've finished cutting off all of the pen lines. And I think the shape of it looks pretty good. And I also decided to make another one as well. And actually prefer the shape of this one just a little bit more, because I think the texture of it just came out a little bit neater, because I did kind of mess up on this one. So I think I prefer this one just a little more. So now we're ready to finally start painting them. What I did was I mixed white, yellow and a tiny bit of burnt sienna paint together, and I painted the lower part of the turtles. So the legs, the head and also the back as well. And then what I did was I just mixed some yellow and burnt sienna paint together to create a much darker tan colour, and then I just added shading to the head and the legs and also the tail as well. And I recommend using some foam brushes for this, and you can just lightly dab on the colour. So as you can see, I did that for both of the squishies. And then I also added some shading to the back as well, just using that same colour. And you want to leave the middle part plain. And also make sure to not paint the shells yet. And I'm just using these images here for help. So now moving on to the next step. Now it is completely up to you what colour you want to paint the shell. So for this one I decided to paint it green. And since this was a dark green, I decided to mix in some yellow puffy paint just to make it a little bit lighter. And then for the other one I decided to paint it a light pink. And again, since this pink was a little bit too dark, I ended up mixing in some of this light pink puffy paint. But you can paint yours whatever colour you want, and also you do not have to use just one colour for the shell. You can use loads of different colours if you want to. So now moving on to the final step. Lastly, what I did was I just painted on the eyes using my dark brown puffy paint, and I just used the end of a paintbrush just to dot on the eyes, and then I just used a much thinner paintbrush just to fix them up a little bit. And again, I just used my images as reference. And also I decided not to paint on nostrils or a mouth because most of the images that I saw of these squishies, they didn't really have nostrils or a nose, and also they didn't really have mouths, so I decided I would just leave those parts out. But of course you can paint those on the squishies if you want to. I just thought these looked pretty adorable as they are, so I decided not to paint on anything else for the face. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they're so cute. So now you just want to let these completely dry and then your squishies will be done. So here they are once they're both completely dry. So first of all, here is the one that I made in this tutorial. And these are both really soft and squishy. And also the legs are a little bit slow rising as well. And so is the tail. And then here is the first one that I made. And again, I think I prefer this one a little more just because I prefer how the shape turned out on this one a bit more. And also I think the texture of the melon bun turned out a little bit better compared to the other one. And as you can see, this one is slightly longer or a little bit bigger. And also another reason why I like this one a bit more is because I love pink. But I'm really happy with how they both turned out. I think they're so adorable. And also, by the way, I'm going to be putting these up for sale on my squishy shop, and my shop is linked in the description box below. So once this video is uploaded, they should be on my shop, so please keep an eye out for them if you want to buy them, of course. So yep, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, please feel free to request any more squishy tutorials you'd like me to do in the comments below. And I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!